All right, let's go. We're going to start with a slow clap to speed me. All right, very good. We got there. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you all. Today is one of those happy days. People in McColl's used to me when I stand up, I say, well, today we're here, it's a happy day, or today we're here, it's a sad day. But actually, they don't have to worry about that too much. When they see Tomo around, they know Tomo is the Minister for Good Times. If he's here, it's a happy day. So that should put everyone at ease. So thanks very much, everyone, for coming along to see this new investment that we've made here in Dennington. We're very excited about it, as you can tell. I hope you have enjoyed seeing it, learning about it, and I hope that we'll get lots of good use out of it for the dairy industry over the next 25 years. There's a bit of a sense of history about being here today. On multiple levels, this is where Stuart McColl started out collecting milk in 1952. Churns of milk that he was lifting into the back of an old truck and carting into the local dairy based in Orford, just off to the west of here. Also for me personally, my great-great-great-grandfather, a fellow called James Dawson, had a similar facility in the 1830s, maybe not similar. He was what was called a rendering facility over in Killarney. Now you can imagine rendering, this was not glamorous. This is about as rough as life gets, but he slugged it out there and managed to make a living in the early days of the colony out here in Western Victoria. And then it's also a sense of history for me personally as I look and see people. I've been sort of, through being back here in Dennington, I've sort of been linked to people from all sort of five eras of education in my life. And I think today we've got people here from Cambridge, which is all good fun. We've got some people from uni in Melbourne, and it's great to see, particularly close to our story. We've got Cookie here, Paddo here, James McDonald here. Isn't that fantastic that all these years on from the late 80s, here we all are, doing business together. You know, you can't make new old friends, and it's fantastic. And then going back to secondary school, I went to secondary school up in Hamilton, and through being here, I've come across old friends. Actually, I miss Bruce Simons. Where's Bruce? There he is. Yeah, also a university friend, which is fantastic. And then going back to secondary school, you know, here we are. I've got people that I kind of know here today through my time up at school in Hamilton. And then all amazingly, somehow, when I came down here, maybe 6 months ago, we were talking about road permits and things, and we had our local member here, a lady called Roma Britnell, and it turns out that we went to primary school together, along with Joel Saywell, who was working here at Provico at the time. So there's 4 levels of education that link back to now, and then everyone else fits into the 5th part of education, which is the School of Hard Knocks, which is what dairy has been for the last few years. It has been tough, but isn't it great to see how good it is now? Gosh, we're all, the season is fantastic. We've had a couple of good seasons. It feels like dairy is heading in the right direction, and that's great news for all of us. So today, you know, we've shared with you our strategy effectively. Everyone who's been here today has seen what's going on. You'll see me here wearing a Frisian shirt under my badge. In Frisian, it was a very exciting time. About 3.5 years ago, we got together, a group of us who'd known each other, mostly dating all the way back to uni, and we bought McColl's. And we bought McColl's because we just knew that it was an awesome company, did good work, had good values, had good people, was strategic. And so we bought it, and our view was not we're going to sort of ride this cow until we get rid of it, send it off to market. Our view was that we were going to own it and love it and care for it and invest in it over a generation. And that's why we call ourselves Frisian and not Angus or Hereford. We're not here about fattening them off and sending them to the abattoir. And so today you've seen sort of what we're doing with all that. Today you've seen our whole strategy is invest in infrastructure that then is able to be useful to the whole dairy industry, that lowers the structural costs of the dairy industry. You've seen us talking about investing in high productivity equipment. We now have 20 of those A-double combinations. You've seen some of today, 20 and another 12, I think, in the tanker slots at the moment. I'm looking over at Pete to confirm. So there's a big investment. Every time we do one of those, another $1 million. but it's $1 million investing in better unit economics that makes us more competitive in the industry and that makes the industry more efficient because you can move milk to where you've got to move it over time. And then the last part of the strategy, which should have come first really, is the people. Hopefully the people who've come here, the guests who've come here today, have had a chance to meet some McColl's people. We are very proud of our McColl's people. The people who are here are the sort of proud heritage of McColl's, but also the people who've joined us to come and join on this journey, which we think is a really exciting place to be. So my real role today, though, was not to say any of that. It was to thank a few people. And so starting with James Green, who was here a little while ago. There he is. Well done, James. James has led the build of this entire site. He did a fantastic job, and we're looking forward to working with him on our next project, which I'll talk about in a moment. Secondly, the teams at Transweld and RA Steel, Lays Electrical and Crytek Plumbing. Well done. I think everyone will agree that you've put together a fantastic facility as we've linked all of those different trades together to make just what we need in the dairy industry. It doesn't finish here. This is just phase 2, and there are 4 phases. So this is phase 2 of Dennington. And then also a thank you for Dave Searer at Provico, who's helped us to find our way through and make sure that all of our services and everything to do with us fits in with the rest of the Provico site and knits seamlessly. It's been excellent. Tony Noski and Paul Sussmilch have been very core to what's going on down here. Paul was the person who moved from Gippsland to come and be the first lone soldier of McColl's in this outpost in far western Victoria, and we were excited, he was excited, and here we all are. Gosh, 18 months later, we're all still excited, so it's fantastic. Paul has been a great evangelist for all that we're doing, for making this a great site, for making the washing efficient, and he will be a great advocate as we move this kind of facility to other places. So thank you, Paul. And Tony, who came to join us, I was so excited when Tony came to join us, gosh, 2 years ago almost, and it's almost 3, is it? Did I miss a year in there, Tony? Tony is someone that I admired as a boy growing up in Western Victoria. Tony was there with his business called Kalari, based out of Portland, and a most admirable person and a most admirable business, and I'm so excited that he came to join us and has been on this journey with us and will continue, so that's fantastic. I know Tony's had both Tony and Mike live on the other side of the bay, and they've had a lot of late nights on Friday nights driving home and very early mornings on Monday mornings getting back down here, while everyone else in Melbourne was locked in their houses with masks on and able to leave only to pick up the rubbish bins off the front lawn. These guys were intrepid travellers who got in their cars and came down here and made this site happen through some pretty trying times in Victoria. So thank you very much to Tony for all that you have done to make this a great site, which is something we should all be very proud of. And finally, Mike. Mike was here. Where has Mike gone? Mike was here at the very beginning. Mike was the person, along with Roger, who said, we've got to go down, we've got to get hold of we've got to find a way to do this kind of facility. Mike was here and he worked with Roger and then with Pato, and we managed to find our way in and we found our site and we worked with it. And Mike has been a kind of cajoling, driving, hungry person who's pushed us through all of this. And that has helped us to build a great facility. Now, some of you will know that there was a fellow called Roger Rebillard who used to work in McColl's until about 6 weeks ago. He left for about a week, and then he was back here putting in a Trans-CIP wash here. Roger is excited and exciting also to be in the next phase of his career where he is a wash builder, turns out. Who knew? But Roger has been a real a driver of the idea of dairy hygiene and this missing link that he mentioned to our group over there, missing link in the dairy industry. And he has been He's been very enterprising to get organised with Gavin and build this Trans-CIP business and build a fantastic wash, and he will build more going forward with us. So thank you, Roger, for all that you've done in your time in McColl's and all that you will do in your time in Trans-CIP. So the two other quick things that I should mention while we're here, I should introduce someone you wouldn't normally see at a McColl's or a Frisian event, and that's someone wearing a Stoits vest. So back there we have Mike Monday. Please everyone, make Mike welcome. Oh, and Adam's there as well, and actually Beck is there as well. 3 people colour-coded. Welcome from Stoits. It is funny that the only people who aren't wearing these vests that we were trying to push on them were the 4 people in the room who are doing that. 3 are from Stoits, 1's from Wetton Halls, and they're all colour-coded. You can see who is not yet McColl's, but we're working on it. And so welcome to all of you. It's great to have you here. So our next phase, we've sort of explained. This is an example of what we're doing. You know, there's some more tweaking to do on this site to make it exactly as we need it. It's actually, if you look closely, it's not quite finished. There's still a few more things. Mike told us a few months ago that it'll be done on the 1st. Now, Pete says that was the 1st of August, or maybe July, but here we are on the 1st of December. And actually, there's still some more things we're going to do. And so we're just quietly working through those. Once we've got this site exactly as it needs to be, and we've learned all that we need to learn and we've tweaked it, then we're going to be building a similar set of sites that follow the same cookie cutter approach. And the exciting thing to talk about today is that the next one will be in Colac. And the logic behind that is that's once again, it's us putting in infrastructure that allows us to be on the lowest point of the cost curve to get milk off a farm in Western Victoria and into Melbourne. And so by running the operations and running that site in Colac, we're very excited about what that can be. So you can hear more about that. The McColl's people around can talk more about that. It's an exciting time for us. So happily, the CWA has put on a very nice sandwich lunch for us next door. So I propose that we all go next door and mix and enjoy the fact that we are in the dairy industry and the sun is shining on the dairy industry just like it's shining on Warrnambool. Thank you. So if we go out, we can go in the other side.